Matthew 8, verse 14 to 17. The narrative moves from the public display of authority in Capernaum to a more intimate setting within a household. After the healing of the centurion's servant, Jesus enters the house of Peter. Matthew writes, "Now when Jesus had come into Peter's house, he saw his wife's mother lying sick with a fever. So he touched her hand and the fever left her, and she arose and served them." The scene is simple, yet it reveals the nature of the authority already demonstrated throughout this section of the gospel. No ritual is performed, no extended command is spoken. A touch is sufficient. The fever departs immediately. Disease yields to the presence of the one who carries the authority of the kingdom. Matthew emphasizes the immediacy of the healing. The fever left her, and she arose at once and began serving. In the ancient world, fever often indicated a dangerous illness that could leave a person weakened long after it subsided. Yet the restoration here is complete and instantaneous. The one who is bedridden stands and resumes ordinary activity. The power at work is not merely therapeutic, it is restorative and authoritative. As evening arrives, the scope of the scene expands beyond the household. Matthew records, "When evening had come, they brought to him many who were demon-possessed, and he cast out the spirits with a word, and healed all who were sick." The phrase "with a word" again highlights the effortless authority of Jesus. What others might attempt through elaborate rituals or incantations, he accomplishes through simple command. The demonic powers retreat immediately, and the sick are restored. Matthew deliberately describes the comprehensiveness of the healing. He healed all who were sick. The ministry unfolding in Galilee is not random or isolated. It is a sweeping demonstration that the long-awaited reign of God has drawn near. The broken conditions that marked Israel's covenant life, sickness, oppression, uncleanness, and demonic bondage, are being confronted and overturned by the presence of the Messiah. Matthew then pauses to interpret the significance of these events. He writes, "That it might be fulfilled which was spoken by Isaiah the prophet, saying, He himself took our infirmities and bore our sicknesses." This quotation comes from Isaiah 53, verse 4. In Isaiah's prophecy, the servant of the Lord carries the burdens of his people. The language of bearing infirmities and carrying sicknesses describes the servant identifying with the suffering of Israel and removing the consequences of their covenant brokenness. Matthew presents the healings of Jesus as the visible manifestation of that prophecy. The servant has arrived, and the burden carried by the people is being lifted in his presence. What Isaiah foresaw is unfolding in real time through the ministry of Jesus. Within the historical setting of the first century, Israel lived under the weight of covenantal distress. The prophets had long spoken of judgment, exile, and the lingering consequences of unfaithfulness. Yet those same prophets promised a coming restoration when God's servant would appear to remove the burden of sin and its accompanying afflictions. Matthew portrays Jesus as that servant. The healing of Peter's mother-in-law, the deliverance of the demon-possessed, and the restoration of the sick are not isolated miracles meant merely to inspire amazement. They are signs that the promised restoration of Israel has begun. The servant does not merely announce relief, he embodies it. The sicknesses of the people are taken upon himself in the sense that he carries the weight of the condition afflicting the nation. The healing ministry foreshadows the greater act through which he will bear the consequences of sin and bring about the decisive turning point in Israel's story. Thus, Matthew's narrative presents Jesus moving through homes, villages, and crowds as the one in whom prophetic expectation finds fulfillment. Each healing serves as testimony that the age of fulfillment has arrived. The servant has come, the burdens of the people are being lifted, and the authority of the kingdom is being revealed in the presence and work of Jesus.